What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are going to talk about this potential plot leak for the Rise of Skywalker. Now, I saw this yesterday. I didn't think much of it because I just thought it all sounded really stupid, and so I was like, whatever, man. You know, who knows if it's true or not. We'll see if it gets any traction, and we'll go from there. But then I received a message from someone that I have been talking to for over a year now, who is very, very knowledgeable and closely linked to Lucasfilm. And this person informed me that, in their opinion, this is 90 to 95% on the nose. At that point, I started going, wow, we need to take this a little more seriously. Now, that's not me confirming that it is or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. And the person that is giving me this information, pretty spot on. And I rarely go forward with anything I hear from any of my sources until the information is public, just because I respect what these people are telling me, and I try to treat that with the utmost respect, as always. So let's read this plot leak and talk about some of the things. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but we're going to go over a few things that have stood out to me. As stated in a previous leak, it's been reiterated to me that we will indeed be getting a young Luke and Leia flashback in the Rise of Skywalker. One in particular appears to be the opening of the movie, no less. Opening with a flashback. Really? We begin that action by seeing one of, if not the final training session between Luke and Leia. Leia is giving up her Jedi training due to the fact that she's pregnant with a son. My source in this mentioned fight, so I believe that we will be getting a Leia versus Luke in a lightsaber duel in the beginning of the film. If you have any common sense, you already know what's going to happen there. And I don't have to tell you. You're all thinking the same thing. Leia is going to kick Luke's ass. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's the Disney way. Whamming good, men bad. Leia is going to kick Luke's ass. That's exactly what's going to happen. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with that if that was just, good, honest storytelling. But it's all agenda-driven storytelling with Disney and Lucasfilm. That's all they care about. Picking up on the current point of the timeline, Leia appears to have taken the mantle of Jedi Mentor to Rey in the wake of Luke's passing. Of course she has. Note, this will likely coincide with the scene from the D23 first look where Rey throws her lightsaber at a training remote and cuts down a tree. Early in the film, we catch up with Kylo's story where he is slaughtering people with the purpose of tracking down one of the film's MacGuffins, a device known as the Wayfinder. Really? The Wayfinder? What is this, Halo? The Wayfinder. God. Kylo obtains the Wayfinder from the Oracle and finds that it contains coordinates to the point of the unknown regions. The Wayfinder that Kylo was given once belonged to his grandfather. Because kill the past, let it die, unless we need to make more money. Using the coordinates found with the Wayfinder device, Kylo arrives in the unknown regions. Here, Kylo encounters Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine's just chilling? Like it's that easy? Palpatine's just like chilling, like Thanos on his farm. What? This is so stupid. How Palpatine is still alive, and how he ended up to the unknown regions is still a mystery to me. It's called they didn't make a lot of money with The Last Jedi and Solo, and everything that they've built is collapsing, so they're going to have to pull Palpatine out of their ass because they've ruined everybody else from the original trilogy up to this point. But anyway, that I hope to learn about in the next few months. Daisy Ridley said in an interview that it's explained in the film. But my source on this tells me that this is indeed Palpatine in the flesh. Kylo and Palpatine's conversation apparently centers around ordering Kylo to find Rey and bring her to the Emperor with the goal of turning her to the dark side. Oh my God. Didn't we already do the Return of the Jedi ripoff? My source specifically mentioned that Palpatine is very old and decrepit, at this point possibly on the verge of death. A little bit of Googling reveals that Palpatine is thought to have been born around 84 BBY, making him in the neighborhood of 113 years old by the events of Rise of the Skywalker. His goal in luring Kylo to him and converting Rey to the darkness is more or less to have Rey and Kylo inherit his new empire and for them to rule together. I didn't read that part. Oh my... So Palpatine is a Reylo shipper? Really? Palpatine's a Reylo shipper. Jesus, this is... I must have skimmed past that because I didn't read that part last time. I'm going to read that one more time. His goal of luring Kylo to him and converting Rey to the darkness is more or less to have Rey and Kylo inherit his new empire and for them to rule together. In order to facilitate bringing about his new empire, Palpatine has spent his 30 years of PTO creating a fleet of Star Destroyers. No, I don't know if this is their actual name or not. Personally, I hope not. It's a bit on the nose, which appear to be exactly what they sound like. Star Destroyers with Death Star tech mounted on them, giving them the capability to destroy a planet. According to my source, these Star Destroyers make up the Sith fleet that housed the new red Sith troopers that were showcased in San Diego Comic-Con in July. Wow. How bad does this sound? Enough about Rey and Kylo. Let's get back to the rest of the Resistance. Apparently, we catch up with Finn and Poe returning to the jungle planet, depicted in some of the behind-the-scenes images shown at Celebration. The duo has been in contact with the informant from within the First Order. The Mole has told Finn and Poe about Kylo coming into possession of the Wayfinder. I swear to God, I can't stand that, the Wayfinder. Poe and Finn tell Leia that this is about this, and she sends Rey, Chewie, and 3PO and the other droids to accompany them on the mission. In order to get them going on their quest, Leia puts them in contact with someone from Pasaana, the desert planet filmed in Jordan. It's at this point in the story where the Resistance teams make their way to the desert planet. In the teaser and behind-the-scenes footage, it's revealed that Leia's contact is Lando Calrissian. Lando points them towards another one of our MacGuffins, the Sith artifact, that apparently turns out to be a dagger. The dagger has some sort of writing on it that 3PO can't decipher. It's during our hero's time on Pasaana that Kylo initiates a Force mind link between himself and Rey. Oh, we're going back to this Force Skype calling. Through the connection, Kylo discovers where Rey and the Resistance crew are and leaves to pursue them. Eventually, Kylo and the Knights of Ren arrive and begin to attack our heroes. One thing leads to another, and the Resistance crew gets outnumbered, and they are forced to make their escape in an old ship, leaving the Millennium Falcon behind. Kylo recovers the Falcon and takes it back to his Star Destroyer. Good God. As previously mentioned, 3PO is confronted with a challenge he is not equipped to handle. The artifact found on Pasaana, contains a language that 3PO can't translate without modifications. In order to modify 3PO's programming, Poe brings the team to the wintry planet seen in the teaser. There, 3PO is modified to allow translation to the artifact. I'm told that the modification is done by a small alien. Once translated, the dagger supposedly reveals information regarding a second Wayfinder. We have a second Wayfinder, Master Chief. This one having belonged to the Emperor Palpatine himself, leading the team onto a journey to the forest moon of Endor. During the events of the modification 3PO on the wintry planet, Kylo initiates another Force connection between he and Rey. Kylo supposedly uses this as an opportunity to begin forcing Rey down the path of darkness. He does this by antagonizing Rey. Kylo tells her that he knows about the dagger and what it was once used for. Kylo apparently tells her that this dagger was used to murder Rey's parents. Kylo contains that her parents are nobodies in the grand story. This angers Rey, and she lashes out at Kylo, and a lightsaber duel ensues. Kylo and Rey have a lightsaber duel? We haven't seen that before, ever. So much originality, JJ. Rey is on Kijimi, and Kylo is on his Star Destroyer. According to my source, no flashbacks of additional locations are seen during this fight. Rey keeps the link alive long enough to learn Rey's location and eventually pursues her in the Star Destroyer. Zori Bliss is introduced sometime during their time on the planet. Once Kylo arrives, our gang of heroes decides to sneak aboard and attempt to recover the Falcon. Prior to leaving, the rescue plan goes awry, and the whole gang, or the whole group, gets captured by the First Order. It's at this point that two major things happen. It's revealed that Hux of the First Order is Maul, and that has been feeding the Resistance information, and he allows the heroes to escape while Kylo is distracted by dueling with Rey in person. We knew that Hux was going to be the Mole. We had heard about that. During this duel, Kylo adds another wrinkle to Rey's backstory. He maintains that while her parents are nobodies, her grandparents, more specifically her grandfather, wasn't. Kylo tells Rey that she is the granddaughter of Palpatine. This explains his interest in bringing the random nobody to Jakku into the fold. The crew recovers the Falcon, Rey connects with them, and they flee. Following the battle aboard the Star Destroyer and escape of the Falcon, Rey uses this newly gleaned information resulting from 3PO's modifications and translation of the dagger to travel to Endor. At this time, it's a little unclear how Kylo gets from point A to point B, but supposedly he is waiting for Rey in Palpatine's throne room aboard the wreckage of the second Death Star. Good God. How much more is this? I'm not going to read all of this. If you guys want to go to this, I'll leave a link, but naturally they fight. The specifics of this duel are unknown to me, but what I have been told is that it is at this point that Rey begins to tap into some hatred to gain the upper hand and eventually defeats Kylo, leaving him for dead on the wreckage of the Death Star. Rey takes possession of Palpatine's Wayfinder and leaves. My sources tell me that the Dark Rey moment is in fact a vision. We already knew that. While lying in the wreckage of the Death Star, in a weakened state, Kylo reportedly sees a vision of his father. What? What? We're gonna pull Force Ghost Han now? We're bringing Force Ghost Han into this? Jesus Christ. He says it's unclear if Han appears as a bona fide Force Ghost or just a magic, or just through the magic of injury and hallucinations. But apparently this is Kylo's come to Jesus moment. Han tells Kylo that it's never too late to change, and when he leaves Endor, he leaves not as Kylo Ren, but as Ben Solo. Holy crap, this is bad. The duel is a critical tipping point for Rey as well. I'm told that in the wake of her confrontation, I'm probably going to read all of this, my God. I'm told that in the wake of her confrontation with Kylo, she takes the Wayfinder and flees to Ahch-To to collect her thoughts. Her mindset is reportedly mirrors Luke's while he was there prior to and during the events of The Last Jedi. The vision of a possible dark future for herself in conjunction with the fact that she nearly killed Kylo scared Rey the same way that considering killing Ben in his sleep scared Luke so many years prior. She feared the path that she was heading down and decides to swear off the Jedi, exiling herself to Ahch-To. Rey scuttles the ship she used to get there, just like Luke once did, and she caps it off by casting Anakin's reconstructed lightsaber lightsaber towards her ship. Just when it looks like the Jedi Order is going to end again, the specter of Luke Skywalker appears to Rey, holding her discarded lightsaber, and does what all good Force ghosts do: gives the hero the resolve to do what needs to be done. Finish the work Luke began over 30 years earlier and put an end to the Emperor for good. According to my source, Luke passes on Leia's lightsaber to Rey. What? Note, I don't know where it came from, where it's been all this time, or how Luke is able to give it to Rey. Yeah, how the hell is the Force... So now Force Ghost just pick shit up? I mean, you know, like, we got Yoda striking lightning, and now, like, Luke's just chilling, handing out lightsabers. My God. What I can tell you with about 50% confidence at this point is that Leia's blade is supposedly blue. Bolstered by her conversation with Luke, Rey takes Leia's lightsaber, transmits the location to the Sith fleet to the Resistance before heading out herself. On the subject of Force Ghosts, Luke makes another appearance around the time of Rey and Kylo's crisis of fate. Back at the main Resistance base, Leia is on her deathbed. My source describes it to me like Yoda's death in Return of the Jedi. Nothing bad happened. It was just her time to go. Luke has come to say goodbye. But before it all ends for Leia, he has one final lesson for her. From what I've been able to put together, the final act of the film is structured like this. Rey leaves Ahch-To and travels to the Sith fleet to the unknown regions. Eventually, the Resistance fleet arrives and battle ensues. Somehow, Rey finds her way to the Emperor, who has been waiting for her. Palpatine confirms that what Kylo told her was true. Apparently, after his defeat, Palpatine was shaken by the fact that he was able to maintain his hold on Vader. Or he wasn't able to maintain his hold on Vader or seduce Luke to the darkness due to the family bond. During the course of their conversation, Palpatine makes reference to this bond between Vader and Luke and likens it to his bond with Rey, hoping that whatever family connection they have will be enough to win her over and become as strong as the Skywalkers. Note, what my source described next feels very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi. Rey is trapped in the Emperor's throne room, watching two opposite fleets battle while she is helplessly gazed onwards. It's at this point that Kylo/Ben appears. How we get to the next part is still a bit fuzzy to me, but apparently Ben and Rey join forces and begin attacking Palpatine. Leia's lightsaber comes back into play when Rey and Kylo share the Skywalker lightsabers throughout their fight. At some point, the Emperor overpowers them and supposedly kills Ben. Let's see. Note, there have been reports from other reputable leakers that Kylo kind of sort of dies, but my source on this seemed pretty ambiguous personally. I think we'll just have to wait and see what we learn over the next few months. When it looks like all hope is lost, the ghosts of Luke Skywalker and Leia show up to aid Rey. It's just like a Lord of the Rings, like the end of Return of the King or something. Together, they overpower the Emperor and end his darkness once and for all. As for what the other members of the Resistance are doing at this point, they are engaged in a space battle against Palpatine's fleet, fleet led by General Pride. The Resistance goal is supposedly to take out the flagship, severing communications and making navigation out of the unknown regions impossible. The flagship is destroyed around the same time that the Emperor dies. The last thing I was told is regarding the final sequence of the film. I don't know why, but our heroes travel to Tatooine. Because of course they travel to Tatooine. During the scenes, it is supposedly revealed that Rey has cannibalized Anakin and Luke's lightsaber and Leia's to make one of her own. How hard are they going to try? My God. So she's had no training yet. She is going to be able to take Luke and Anakin, their lightsaber, and combine it with Leia's, and that's going to be the strong Mary Sue Rey's lightsaber. My God. To make one of her own, and supposedly has a yellow gold blade. She buries the leftover pieces on the grounds of the former Lars homestead. The final shots of the Skywalker saga allegedly echo how the adventure began in 1977. Our heroes gazing at the horizon, dreaming of the future as the twin suns set in the distance. Oh my God. I haven't read all of this. That's the first time I've read every detail of it. You know, man, that ending, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I'm going to be completely honest with you. There are parts of this that I can appreciate in isolation. There are parts that I can appreciate in isolation. But the path to get us here is what I do not respect. And it really feels like you are retroactively doing exactly what you said we were racist and sexist for. You said we were racist and sexist because we called out your garbage storytelling. We called out all of the crap that happened in The Last Jedi. And you're admitting that The Last Jedi was trash. This movie has nothing to do with The Last Jedi. This trilogy is screwed. Absolutely screwed. I mean, this trilogy has no connecting tissue whatsoever. This is so bad. And this right here, this story in this movie it definitely is original trilogy heavy. The connections to the original trilogy are there. There's no doubt about it. If this is in fact true, there's no doubt. This is connected to the original trilogy. But you moved away from the original trilogy in The Force Awakens. You moved away from it completely in The Last Jedi. So why is it so original trilogy heavy now? Could it be because the fans were right? Could it be because we knew what we were talking about? Well, you, Lucasfilm, you told us we were just angry fanboys. We were just intimidated by women. We were just intimidated because we didn't get what we wanted. Well, you're giving us the things that we complained about. The problem is the path to get us here makes no sense. This is exactly I'm not saying everything here works. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying that there's a lot here that connects to the original trilogy and Return of the Jedi. And that would have been fine if you wouldn't have given us such a shit show in the first two movies. But this is a trilogy. This is supposed to be connected. None of this feels connected. This all feels like you just threw shit against the wall. And when the things that you threw against the wall turn out to be garbage, you attack the fans for telling you it's garbage. And now you're doing exactly what the fans were trying to tell you to do the whole time. Yet you've given us Galaxy's Edge that has nothing to do with Star Wars. This is frustrating. This is very frustrating. But right now at this point, I can't believe how bad this trilogy is. If this is true. Don't know if this is true. But I'm hearing that it's pretty damn close to being true. I don't know, man. I've got to process all this because while a lot of this is bad when you take it into account that it's part of this sequel trilogy, because it makes no sense, none of this feels like it's part of the sequel trilogy. But when you really think about, like, yeah, man, that's kind of cool that they have this tied to this and this tied to this for the Return of the Jedi and, you know, the original trilogy. Well, it just makes you go like, what the hell have they been doing the whole time? So if this is true, the fans were right. We were right. The Last Jedi is trash. You have completely retconned that movie for the most part. The only thing it seems like you're keeping is the stupid Skype force calling. And you probably had to do that from a storytelling standpoint. So I get it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I just think Lucasfilm can go to hell. Kathleen Kennedy can go to hell. And anybody who supported this moving away from the original trilogy to get us to this point to where you're begging for the original trilogy. This is ridiculous. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later. Hey everyone, it's Jeremy from geeksandgamers.com, and if you're a fan of Geeks and Gamers, please go to our website, visit our merchandise store. We have t-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, tank tops, and in the very near future, we're going to have many more products for you to choose from. So thank you for the support. We appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.